Money FM 89.3. Thanks for joining us for this conversation as we put a spotlight on some of the most promising companies and startups in Singapore. And no annual award better honors the bold ambition of Singapore's young businesses under 10 years old than the Emerging Enterprise Award, jointly organized by the Business Times, SPH's Financial Daily, and OCBC Bank. This year, 2022, marks 15 years of the award's celebration of business innovation, resilience, and excellence in SMEs, the bedrock of the Singapore economy. Since 2008, the award has been empowering startups and young enterprises with both recognition and resources to take flight and achieve stellar growth. Today, we chat with one of the 15 finalists in contention for this year's award to find out what makes them tick. We have in the studio with us Joanna Soh, Vice President for Sales and Marketing at iO3. Joanna, thanks for joining me.
Hi, Ryan.
It's great to have you here. Now, if you've been on a cruise ship to perhaps use the internet before, chances are that this is the company behind making everything work. Joanna, walk us through a bit more about what your company does.
Okay, so iO3 is actually a maritime tech company that is focused in bringing digitalization into the marine industry. So essentially, for digital transformation to take place in the industry, there needs to be domain expertise and knowledge on three different segments. First, you're talking about shipboard infrastructure. That includes the IT and OT equipment on board the vessel. Then you have the satellite connectivity, which is actually the only means of data transmission when a vessel is out in the open sea. And lastly, cloud technology. So these three segments are primarily what iO3 does and provide to our customers.
Yeah, for most people, they might not realize it, right? Or take it for granted that being out in the sea, you might still get a cell phone connection.
Exactly.
And so this is something very important for people in the maritime industry.
It is definitely. So obviously, you know, when you're out in open sea, the only form of communication is via the satellite. Yeah.
And this really helps to bridge a lot of the functions and, of course, the modern features for some of the ships. Walk us through what this enables.
Wow, I would say is through the evolution of satellite technology. If you say compare 10 to 15 years ago, traditionally when a vessel goes out into the open sea, their only form of communication is probably 2 emails a day. All right, so the captain would probably send back a report via email twice a day, probably indicating the vessel status, cargo status. That's about it. But like I said, with evolution of satellite technology, these days we are talking about broadband connectivity on board the vessel. So with such connectivity, you are able to do lots of internet access, digital applications as such.
Yeah, the maritime industry is one that's very old, typically very traditional as well.
Yes.
How have they been in terms of embracing technology?
Wow, that's a good one. Indeed, maritime is really traditional. It's probably a brick and mortar kind of business. So put it this way, when it comes to technology, implementing it is definitely cost saving in the long run. There definitely would be cost saving when it comes to technology. But sometimes it's difficult to put an ROI behind it. All right, I'll give an example. We have one of our solution, the digital solution, which is a smart glasses video conferencing software. So what this does is if there should be any equipment malfunction on the vessel, the crew member could just put on the smart goggles. They could get a live video conferencing with a subject matter expert on shore. All right, they could do remote troubleshooting and get the equipment fixed. All right, another use case is the smart goggles could be used, say for example, crew is unwell, all right, or if there's an injury on board, they could get online with visuals from a shore doctor. So the doctor will be able to better diagnose the crew member. So all this is difficult to put a dollar value behind it.
Yeah, a lot of intangibles and tangibles that comes with adopting technology. In recent times, has this picked up though? Because with COVID-19, there's been this big push towards digitalization, safe distancing. What has been the observations you've seen?
I think, put it this way, when it comes to COVID, it kind of pushed the industry a bit when it comes to digitalization because during the pandemic times, as you know, moving around wasn't easy. There were a lot of restrictions having people on board the vessel. So all these different solutions does come in handy. It fixes quite some problems and issues that the customers or vessels are facing.
And talk about these problems and issues that people are facing. What do you think can be done more to help these customers and potential customers to implement technology into the industry?
All right. I would say in the industry, we are pretty much, or rather different players, different stakeholders are pretty much very siloed still. One thing that I think as a company, we felt that the industry could be more open There should be more collaborative joint effort.
What do you mean siloed? What do you...
So, for example, the users versus the equipment. On board the vessel, for example, there are plenty of equipment. And, each equipment has their own, say, ways of using, or the output of the digital output can be different. So if the industry comes together and somehow have a kind of a unified language, put it this way.
So they're not compatible.
I wouldn't say... They are more standalone, siloed.
Right.
Yeah, but I think it's a lot of change over these years. More and more equipment makers, for example, they're coming together. I mean, like for us, we are actually building a platform where we actually welcome partners to sit on our platform.
Nice.
Yeah.
All right, we're in conversation with Joanna Soh. She is the Vice President for Sales and Marketing at iO3. Joanna, you are one of the 15 finalists in the running for the Emerging Enterprise Award, and you've just come out of the judging session.
Yeah.
What was the experience like?
Wow, a lot of preparation, I would say. We actually took quite some effort to prepare for it. The good thing about it, I think, is it gives us a chance to really dive deep once again into the core basics of our business and what we are doing. We have been so busy day to day with running the business, but with this opportunity comes where we come together, we relook at certain aspect of our business.
So it forces you to kind of reflect on where the business is going.
In a way.
Talking about where the business is going, where do you hope to bring the business?
Well, right now, I think we are very strong regionally. I mean, we have a base here in Singapore. We have a technical office in Taiwan, as well as a software team based in Jakarta, Indonesia. We are hoping to really expand globally. So, of course, there are expansion plans ahead. We want to be... Because maritime is global, right? It's always good to have a presence in US and in Europe, in Middle East, and things like that.
Okay, when you look at all these various geographies, what will be the main areas that you're going to be focusing on when it comes to expanding the business?
Right. Obviously, we have to see which is the country or areas that is probably strong in maritime. For example, in Japan, they are one of the biggest ship-owning countries. So that is probably our immediate target, I would say.
Okay, and in terms of the observations you're seeing right now, because everyone's talking about a potential recession around the corner, has that changed the minds of some of these budgeting plans, marketing plans? Have you seen any cutbacks or more reluctance, and how people are talking to you when it comes to contracts?
I would say as of now, as of today, it's not about cutting back. I think they are still very interested in bringing digital solutions into the industry. But of course, you are definitely right that recession is kind of a topic that people are talking about coming soon. But maritime still goes on. I mean, maritime is responsible for 90% of global trade. So I think with that in mind, even if there should be a cut down, the essential services are still very required.
Yeah, would it be right to say that this is actually the best time to upgrade to improve your efficiency and productivity?
Exactly.
We mentioned you can't really put a number on ROIs, but how would you sell it then to someone who might think about, hey, this is something for you?
I think it's about educating the customer. We spend a lot of time explaining. Of course, from a customer perspective, at the end of the day, they are after the dollar value. Like the examples I've given you earlier, if a crew member could be diagnosed better, you're talking about saving a life even.
All right, Joanna, when it comes to the adoption of technology, have you seen any, observations that have held back some of these industry players from jumping on board?
Yeah. Yes, definitely. I'm not sure if you know, I'm sure people would know out there. A couple of years ago, there was actually a huge cybersecurity breach on one of the big maritime customer. So obviously, internet comes with the flip side of stuff.
So a cyber pirate.
Cyber pirate, correct. So what they do is they actually take control of... They lock down the equipment, they lock down the satellite equipment, they take control of all the equipment on board. So can you imagine as a ship owner, if you have $100 million worth of goods
in the middle of the sea?
In the middle of the sea, you probably just have to cave in and give in to this ransom.
Yeah, but of course, with your network, you have the solutions in place.
Yes, definitely. As a basic, we have our AES 256 encryption for any traffic that's passing through our what we call Jarvis, our platform. But on top of that, we work with Eco Partner System, who are actually the cybersecurity experts. They run their software on top of the solutions that we built on.
All right. And of course, you are one of 15 finalists. If you do win the OCBC Emerging Enterprise Award, what does that mean for you and your company?
Wow, I think for us, it's actually a really big recognition, I would say. It gives us a strong boost of encouragement, and I think more importantly, it reaffirms what the company and the business is doing.
All right, all the best for
Thank
the
you.
awards. Let me check in Joanna Soh. She is the Vice President for Sales and Marketing for iO3.
Thank you.